Oh, wait up. Hi, and welcome back again. So, at the moment, as you may hear, I am playing Breath of Fire 3 again. I am now probably at the end of the game. I have to be at the end of the game. Come on. All the little puzzles pieces are now fitting together to finally reveal the truth of the game. But what I just briefly wanted to say before we actually go to the subject of this video is the music, especially this part. This soundtrack, this track, makes me feel so nostalgic. It's so good. It makes me think of like the good old RPGs, grand adventures. It's so good. I really like this piece of track. And Breath of Fire 3 is slowly, it already was in my top 10 PlayStation 1 games. One of the best RPGs I've played, but it's just getting up there higher and higher. And this track definitely, puts it a little bit further up. It's so good. The game is so good. This is what I miss in basically every modern RPG. Even stuff like Final Fantasy 16 that is really good. I loved Final Fantasy 16 actually. It was a lot of fun to play. I beat it 2 days ago. The music was good, but it wasn't like this, yes, the neighbors are drilling. Of course, I'm making a video and the neighbors are drilling. So I just want to briefly say that this piece of music it's so good. It reminds me of older games, of better times in gaming. I've actually, someone on my last video said that the PlayStation 5, the PS5 Slim, even the physical version needs an internet connection to work. I haven't read it anywhere else. I have to admit, though, I didn't really research for it, but if that's true, that really sucks. That means that if you got a PS5 physical version and in 10, 20 years from now, I'll be old, by the way, but I'll still be alive, hopefully, and the servers are down and your PS5 dies, and it will happen, trust me. My PlayStation 1 that is on right now, that is my PS1 that my dad bought in 1996, maybe 1997, when Tomb Raider came out, is still working. I can guarantee you, my PS5 will not work in 10, 20 years from now, but my PS1 definitely will. So, the future of gaming in terms of graphics look great. In terms of everything else, not so great. Doesn't mean there will not be many good games, but just, I don't think I will have a really big PS5 collection. I will probably keep collecting for the PS4. Now, I've already said way too much crap without actually talking about the game that I want to talk about, Fable, and this is the last chapter edition that I got a couple of years ago. Yesterday, I finally beat it. I finally beat Fable. Now, even though I always hated the Xbox, mostly because they had Dead or Alive 3, and I'm a huge Dead or Alive 2 fan, and I hated it so much that it was Xbox only. And I'm a really loyal person, way too loyal. I was a huge PlayStation fanboy, really stupid. I wish now that I didn't. I wasn't like that. But I have to admit, it doesn't mean that the games were bad. I was interested in Fable. I was interested in Dead or Alive and a lot of other games. And I finally, a couple of weeks ago, started playing Fable, and I was playing it quite a bit up until Final Fantasy 16 came. Or actually, my birthday. I got it from my birthday from my parents, and that's why I played it. And I started playing it yesterday evening, and I was at a certain point, I'm like, okay, this is a boss fight, but the whole storyline revolves around this person. Is it the end? No, it can't be. I'm only playing it for 16 hours. That's it. And to be honest, most of that time was spent building up my character, trying to earn money to buy the more expensive gear. I bought all the houses and rented them out to get more money. I tried to do side quests. I've tried to, find as many dungeons, and I just try to do as much as I possibly can. No, I didn't marry anyone. Just like in real life, I'm single. Even in the game, I'm single too. Single life forever. But it was the end. It actually was it. Now, because it's the last chapter, you do get sort of an expansion pack, right? So you can play more. I could play more. But to me personally, it felt like, okay, I have beaten the main game. And I am disappointed, but I'm also in awe because the progression, the character progression, you start out as a kid, and I was, the beefy character at the end. I put a lot of points in health and strength, and I was this, really beefy, holy paladin guy, but with a lot of scars. I found that the battle system was, you could sort of, block attack. I just button mashed the whole game, and that so I got hit a lot. I think I died once or twice. I have so many health potions. It's almost impossible to die in the game. But so my character was like a holy paladin, full of scars, of battle scars. And he got old. He got gray or white gray. You actually see your character grow. And I'm not talking about Breath of Fire 3, where you're started as a kid, then a teen, and then boom, you're mature. Nope, you actually don't even literally see it. It just smoothly, you become older and taller and bigger and older, and that is so cool. I don't understand why modern games don't have this feature. What the hell is wrong with people, with gamers, or game developers? I mean, it will be a game like Assassin's Odyssey would be much cooler if you actually grow old or grow big or grow fat. There are sort of demon doors in Fable, and you have to do a certain task. Have a kill streak of 10, or you have a strength of 8, and there's one demon door, and it grants you, of course, loot, right? Gear, loot, coin. And there is a one demon door who basically said, get fat. Get as fat as you can. I want you to be fat and unhealthy, and I'll open the door for you. That is so cool. It really reminds me of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where you can get beefy, you can get fat, you have to eat. I don't understand why these interactive features, I've been talking about this for a long time with these huge, beautiful open worlds, but there are no interactivity inside the world itself. It's just fighting, leveling up, gearing up, and going from point A to point B. The game even tells you where to go. And of course, in Fable, they also tell you where to go. But you know what I mean? It doesn't have features. You don't feel that you're a part of the world. In Fable, it feels that you are a part of the world. If you become evil, now I didn't, if you become evil, people will react to you in different ways. If you kill a townsperson, they'll be like, you killed someone, and they'll run away, and guards will try and seize you, and you can go to jail, and in jail, time flies and you get older. Now, I don't really know if, for example, your strength or your magic abilities will be downgraded when you're older, but you definitely see in your character. But again, you don't literally poof, you see it. It smoothly transitions between the game time of being a kid, being a teenager, being in middle age like I am, and becoming old. There's a point in the game where you're in a dungeon, in a cell. Come on, it's a cliche. It's not a spoiler. Every RPG has one section that you're in a dungeon, in a cell, in a prison. And there's a task that you have to do. And if you fail, I think 5 years passes. So I was, put into jail as a young man, I guess, a middle-aged man. And at the end of my time, I finally did, completed the task, and I got gray hair. I got white gray hair. I become older, and You got little wrinkles. It is so cool to see that, and it pains me that you don't see that in. Tell me any game. Leave in the comments below. Are there any modern games with good graphics, like Assassin's Creed or Horizon or Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, who has that feature? Nope. Nothing. Nobody. What I didn't like though is the battle system is all right. Now I was more into fighting with massive swords and battle axe. I thought there were not a lot of variety in the ways of gear and weapons. I was basically half of the time I had a plate armor and a really giant sort of I think a master class axe. That is what I played most of the time. I didn't find any sort of better gear, probably in the demon gates demon doors where you could find better gear, or I had to search for more because I was searching, trying to find every bit of land and dungeon in the entire game. So the battle system it's all right. It's not bad. It's all right. I think it's a lot of more fun if you use a lot more magic, I guess. But it's all right. It's not bad. The music is pretty good. The music is pretty good. It's medieval. It's pretty good. Graphically, the game looks fantastic for its time. You know, as I said, it's a believable world. It honestly feels like it's a livable world. It's an old world. Old towns, old roads. However, it feels really small. And that is sort of the disappointment that I had when I beat the game. I'm like, is this it? It's just 4 towns and a couple of roads and a couple of dungeons? Is there not more to this game? It even though it's packed full of interaction, it does feel like a really small adventure. And what I also didn't like was you're getting older, but everybody around you, at least from what I have seen, stays the same. Kids don't grow old, NPCs don't grow old. It will be cool if, for example, you go out of prison and all of a sudden there are 1 or 2 extra houses in every city, or things have changed, or there was a plague, or there was a battle and one of the towns is destroyed, and it's up to you to sort of rebuild the town. That will be so cool. It gives you even more of a feeling like time is progressing. You're in a livable world, and that is, by the way, something that I think they did hype the game up with, that the world would evolve, and if you'll be evil, the world will be evil, more evil and dark and stuff. And the only thing I have seen is, NPCs react to you, what you're doing, and that is really cool. There's a lot of reactions that you can get from NPCs, but the world itself feels the same. Like it's same like you'll go to sleep right now, and 40 years later you wake up and everything is the same. There's nothing new. It's unrealistic, unlogical, I guess. And it would have been cool, and they could definitely do it with the technology back then. They could definitely add a couple more houses, destroy 1 village, and you have to rebuild. That would be so cool. An extra sort of mini game that it's your village, right? The village that the hero that they grant you as a hero. They grant you that village to rebuild, or as a villain, you just took the village by force, and the subjects in your village are all afraid of you. That would have been really cool. And I think, as I said, I know that even back then they say that the guy, Peter blah blah, I think he promised so much. He was hyping the game up so much, and at the end of the day, it didn't really live up to all that hype. There were some sections completely gone. Some sections were like, and I remember, I think, one trailer that they literally show that the world will evolve, that the world becomes bigger, that the tree years later, a small little sapling becomes a tree, and just, or maybe I'm just thinking it, remember it the wrong way, but that is how I remember it, seeing trailers of this game when I was a kid, that this would be a living, breathing world. And in some ways it is, in most ways, sadly, it's not. But it's undeniable that the character progression from being a kid up until being old was super good. It's so smooth, you don't even see yourself getting older or see yourself, if you just wear armor and wear a cap and you play through the entire game with the same stuff, and then you put everything off, you'll be like, whoa, I'm a completely new character. I'm completely different. And that is really cool. That is really, really cool. Heads up to them that they've done something like that in the age of the Xbox and PS2. And now we are at PS5 and they still can't do it, or at least they don't want to do it. So I hope I hope you liked the video. This is kind of my thoughts about Fable. I really like this game. And as I said in multiple videos, the Xbox is becoming a really good console. I am also playing Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate. I'm trying to get all the costumes. But it's getting pretty tough. And I have to do like the normal and hard mode to get all the normal and hard costumes, and especially the M-Boss Tengu is really strong, really annoying, but I love Dead or Alive. It's so good, and it actually looks pretty good. I have a Keiko HDMI Xbox to HDMI converter, and it's not perfect, but it is pretty good. It looks really good on my pretty big screen here. And I'm playing Dungeons & Dragons Heroes on the Xbox, another really good hack and slash game. Reminds me of Gauntlet meets Diablo, and then in the Dungeons & Dragons world, pretty good. And for the Xbox, I always wanted to play Kingdom Under Fire. I have both of them, Heroes and Crusaders, I think, but I haven't really sort of got into it yet. So hopefully one day I will. So this was my thought. I would just call it Fable review on the Xbox. Really great game. If you want me to give a score, it would be an 8. I think 8 would be a good one. It's not a 7.5. It's better than 7.5, but it's not as good as 8.5 or a 9. So hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And like always, you're gonna see me next time, and now I have to stand up like an old guy. Bye-bye!